building up the spirit of your mind. Welcome to 2-Minute Transformation. Your spirit is the consciousness inside you, and that spirit has ultimate control of your mind. The Apostle Paul tells us in Romans 12:2 that we're to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. In a similar manner, he says in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 23, that we are to be renewed in the spirit of our mind. Your mind controls your heart, which is the seat of your attitudes, and your attitudes control your actions. If we're going to find and fulfill our purpose in life, it's our actions that ultimately need to reflect the character of God. But for far too many of us, our minds are consumed by carnal, temporal things, Hollywood gossip, sports stats, even the strategies from the workplace. And this stuff just floats around in our heads until it eventually begins to shape our attitudes. That's why the church is so being influenced by pop culture, and not for the better. We're utterly consumed with temporal things. We need to heed the warning of Paul to the Philippians about those that become too wrapped up in the world that they no longer follow the example of Christ. He says they're headed for destruction. Their God is their appetite. They brag about shameful things, and they think only about this life here on earth. On the other hand, what do you suppose might happen if we put a little more effort into growing up in God's Spirit and building up the spirit of our minds? I'm talking about setting your mind on things above. I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with taking in a movie or catching a game, but don't you think that we could use a little more of God and His truth so we can be transformed?